Synopsis. When I went to the orphanage to adopt a child, a pair of siblings with outstanding appearances immediately caught my eye. The older brother was about 6 or 7 years old, with facial features so delicate it was hard to look away. His cold, dark eyes swept over everyone. As I approached, the little girl shrank behind her brother's back, looking timid and fearful, yet unable to hide her delicate, pretty little face. The orphanage director gently pulled my arm and lowered her voice. "Miss Sue, those 2 children are not easy to raise." "Why aren't they easy to raise?" "The older brother is very stubborn. Of the people who came to adopt them before, 3 were bitten by him until they bled. As for the little girl, she is too attached to her brother. She cries non-stop if they are separated. Once, someone only wanted to adopt the little girl, and the brother immediately picked up a pair of scissors. The director didn't finish her sentence, but her meaning was clear enough. I squatted down slightly, smiling at the 2 children. The boy immediately stood protectively in front of his sister, his eyes full of wariness fixed on me. Just then, a faint series of words drifted across my vision, like scrolling comments. "These 2 are the future ultimate villains, sisters. The older brother will later be known as the Dark King, turning the Beijing business world upside down. The younger sister is even more terrifying. When she grows up, she'll throw 3 major families into chaos. They are a pair of villainous siblings. Whoever raises them is asking for disaster." I stared at those words for about 3 seconds before letting out a soft chuckle. So what if they are villains? It just means no one has taught them properly yet. I stood up and turned to the director. "These 2, I'll adopt both of them." The director froze. "Miss Sue, perhaps you should think it over." "No need." I walked up to the boy named Lu Han, crouched down and looked straight into his cold eyes. "What's your name?" He remained silent. "My name is Su Meng. From now on, I will be the one taking care of you too." He replied coldly. "I don't need a mother. Then calling me sister is fine too." He paused slightly, seeming to have never met an adult who was so nonchalant. The little girl behind him timidly poked her head out, her voice as quiet as a mosquito. "Sister, do you really want to adopt both of us?" "Yes, the people before only wanted to adopt you. I am not like them." I held out my hand. The little girl hesitated for a moment before placing her tiny hand into mine. Her fingertips were icy cold. Before my eyes, faint lines of text drifted past again. "It's over, this girl actually signed the adoption papers. These 2 will make her suffer when they grow up. A cannon fodder female extra adopting villains as her children is just absurd." I looked at my signature on the agreement and calmly handed the file back to the director, ignoring those words. "Any child raised by me, Su Meng, will absolutely not go down the wrong path." On the first day I brought them home, I clearly felt Lu Han's temper. The rented apartment wasn't big, 2 bedrooms and a living room. I cleaned out the larger bedroom for them. "Make do with this for now. When I earn more money, we'll move to a better place." Lu Han just glanced around and said nothing. Lu Ran, however, obediently tugged at the corner of my shirt. "Sister, this place is so big." My nose stung slightly, and I reached out to rub her head. At the orphanage, 8 kids squeezed into one room. To her, this old apartment was already a wonderful place. For dinner, I made 3 savory dishes and 1 soup. Sweet and sour pork ribs, tomato egg stir-fry, stir-fried cabbage and seaweed egg drop soup. Lu Ran ate until her cheeks puffed out, mumbling indistinctly as she chewed. "So delicious." Lu Han picked up his chopsticks, took a bite of a rib, and then quietly took another piece. I curled my lips slightly. His mouth was silent, but his actions were very honest. The floating text appeared again. "This brat is eating her food today, but he'll make her regret it later. Raising him is just asking for trouble." I pretended not to see it and placed the last piece of rib into Lu Han's bowl. "Eat more. You're too skinny." His movements paused, but he didn't refuse. After eating, I went into the kitchen to wash the dishes. When I came out, Lu Ran had fallen asleep on the sofa. Lu Han was clumsily covering his sister with a jacket. Seeing me watching, he immediately pulled his hand back, turned around with a cold face, and walked into the bedroom. The door closed with a click. I didn't follow him. The boy had layers of defenses that couldn't be dismantled in a single day. That night, I lay in bed scrolling through my phone. Those lines of text appeared again, warning me. 3 days later, Lu Han will beat up a classmate at school. The reason is that someone called Lu Ran an orphan without parents. I immediately sat up. 3 days. I memorized this time frame. Since I knew in advance, I wouldn't let it happen. Now that I had taken these 2 children in, no one would be allowed to make them suffer any further grievances. The next day, I took them to enroll in school. Lu Han was in class 1A4, and Lu Ran in class 1, a 1A1. The school was 3 bus stops away from home. Not too far. Teacher Zhao, the homeroom teacher in the administration office, flipped through the files, pushed up his glasses and looked at me. Miss Su, you are 23 this year, correct? Unmarried, right? Raising 2 children all by yourself? Yes. He put the file down, a hard-to-read smile playing on his lips. Are you sure you have the capability to raise them? The words sounded polite, but the implication was anything but respectful. I pulled out my phone, opened my bank account balance, and showed it to him. Is this enough? Teacher Zhao's expression shifted slightly. It was the savings I had accumulated from 2 years of working as a freelance media creator. After completing the procedures, I took them to buy school supplies and uniforms. In the mall, Lu Ran held my hand, looking left and right, her eyes sparkling. Sister, that backpack is so pretty. It was a pink unicorn backpack, priced at 380 yuan, not cheap at all. I directly took it down. If you like it, we'll buy it. Lu Ran was startled. It's too expensive, sister. It's not expensive. I turned to Lu Han. You pick one too. He stood in front of the shelves, his eyes sweeping over the models, and finally stopped at the simplest black one. This one. The text popped up again. He doesn't like that one. He likes the dark blue one next to it. He just saw it was expensive and didn't dare to choose it. I followed his gaze. Dark blue, sleek design, 420 yuan. I put the black one back and handed the blue one to him. This one suits you better. Lu Han looked up at me, a flash of surprise in his eyes. I want the black one. This one suits you better, I repeated, my tone brooking no refusal. He lowered his head and took the backpack, the tips of his ears turning slightly red. The comments immediately flooded in. Oh my God, his ears are red. The sister is softening the future Dark King's heart. At the orphanage, no one ever asked him what he liked. I pretended not to see, taking Lu Ran's hand. Let's go, time to buy uniforms. Leaving the mall, we passed a milk tea shop. Do you want some milk tea? Lu Ran nodded continuously. Lu Han maintained his cold demeanor, but his footsteps noticeably slowed down. I bought 3 cups. Lu Ran hugged her cup, grinning from ear to ear. Lu Han used his straw to gently stir the boba, saying nothing. But his little mouth didn't stop sipping. As we walked past the mall entrance, a woman in a mink coat walking a little boy approached. The boy was about Lu Han's age. Upon seeing us, he looked us up and down. Mom, why is that lady walking with 2 kids? Is she a maid? The woman pulled her son's hand, but couldn't hide her disdainful look. Lu Han's hand tightened around his milk teacup. I smiled, leaned down, and said to the boy, not a maid, a mother. To be this young and already have 2 such well-behaved children, I am very proud. The boy's face instantly turned bright red. The woman in the mink coat looked embarrassed, grabbed her son, and quickly walked away. Lu Ran tugged my sleeve. Sister, you're amazing. Lu Han didn't say a word, but on the way home, the distance between him and me was just a little bit closer than the day before. On their first day of school, I took Lu Ran to class 1A1 first. The homeroom teacher, Ms. Lin, looked gentle. Don't worry, I will take good care of her. Lu Ran stood at the classroom door, looking back at me, her eyes a little red. Sister, will you come pick me up? I will. At 3:30 p.m. I'll be waiting for you at the gate. She nodded emphatically, making up her mind, and walked into the classroom. After sorting out Lu Ran, I went to class 1A4. Lu Han had already found a seat in the back row by the window. His homeroom teacher was Mr. Zhao, a man in his 40s with thinning hair and a calculating look. Mr. Zhao pulled me into the hallway and whispered, Miss Su, I've read this child's file. From the orphanage, right? Yes. The thing is, the parents in our class are very focused on their children's education. How is this child's foundation? Don't let him drag down the class's overall performance. I looked him straight in the eye. You don't need to worry about Lu Han's grades. Mr. Zhao let out 2 awkward laughs and said no more. A comment drifted by. This teacher Zhao is a greedy snob. He will target Luhan later. He takes bribes from the parents of the top student, Jiang Kenshen, and specializes in playing favorites. I took note of that. Back home, I opened my computer and started editing videos. My account focused on lifestyle content. I didn't have many fans, but the income was enough to cover daily living expenses. At noon, I prepared lunch boxes to bring to the kids at school. At 3:20 p.m., I was at the school gate. When the 3:30 bell rang, Lu Ran was the first to rush out, diving into my arms. Sister, it was so fun. I'm so happy. I already know all the pinyin the teacher taught us. A comment popped up. This girl has an IQ of 190 genius level. It'll be normal for her to get perfect scores in every subject later on. I raised an eyebrow. 190. No wonder she becomes an ultimate villain. You have to be smart enough to be that ruthless. I waited 5 minutes before Luhan slowly walked out. There was a dirty handprint on the sleeve of his uniform. What happened here? Nothing. The comments instantly appeared. Jiang Kenshen pushed him on purpose and said, "Orphanage trash, don't touch me." Luhan held back from fighting back, because you told him not to cause trouble. My heart tightened. He held back because of what I told him before leaving the house this morning. Don't cause friction with others. Tell me if anything happens. I crouched down and helped him brush the dirt off his sleeve. From tomorrow on, I will come pick you up. Whoever pushes you, tell me their name. Luhan glanced at me. There's no need. There is. He didn't say anything more, but when he got in the car, he took the initiative to close the door for me. On the way home, I bought a roast duck. At dinner, Lu Ran ate until her mouth was covered in grease, giggling happily. Luhan ate half a duck leg, his speed noticeably faster than yesterday. After dinner, I checked their homework. Lu Ran's handwriting was neat and tidy. Even Ms. Lin had drawn 3 stars in her notebook. Luhan's math test was completely correct, and his handwriting was meticulous, completely unlike a first grader's. A comment appeared. He taught himself middle school math at the orphanage. This kid's brain is sharp. I put the worksheet down and rubbed his head. Great job. He tilted his head slightly to dodge my hand, but didn't dodge very far. My phone rang. It was an unknown number. Su Meng, it's your mother. I froze for 3 seconds. To be exact, she was the biological mother who ran off with another man 3 years ago. Liu Giwa, I heard you adopted 2 brats. Are you crazy? You can barely take care of yourself, and you're raising someone else's kids. The comments exploded. Here she comes. The ultimate trash mom enters the stage. This hag will later bring her new husband to steal Su Meng's house. Grab your popcorn. The good show is about to start. How do you know I adopted kids? On the other end, Liu Gihua sneered. You're still my daughter. You think I wouldn't know something like this? Your eldest aunt told me. Ah, the gossipy aunt. So what? Did you call just to curse at me? I am your mother. I have the right to manage you. An unmarried girl like you adopting 2 kids with unknown backgrounds. What will outsiders say about you? Where am I supposed to put my face? Your face? I interrupted her. 3 years ago, when you ran off with Liu Haoming, do I need to remind you what you said to Dad? The other end fell silent for a second. If you have nothing else to say, I'm hanging up. Don't call this number again. I hung up. Liu Han stood at the kitchen door holding a glass of water, looking at me expressionlessly. Your mom? She doesn't like you raising us. It wasn't a question, but a statement. This child was too sensitive. I took the glass of water from his hand and took a sip. There are a lot of things she doesn't like, but she doesn't control me. Lu Han stayed silent for a moment, then turned and walked back to his room. The comments drifted by. He's thinking about whether he should leave on his own, so as not to cause you more trouble. Sisters, we have to keep him. If this brat makes up his mind to leave, you won't be able to catch him. I knocked on his door. Lu Han. No answer. Tomorrow I plan to make sweet and sour pork. Can you help me pick out a good cut of meat at the market? 3 seconds later, the door opened a crack. You don't know how to pick meat? Not really. He looked at me, then closed the door again. But before it shut completely, I heard him mutter, the front leg cut is the best. I smiled. He wasn't leaving yet. The next morning, after dropping the kids off at school, I went to the supermarket to buy pork shoulder. On the way back, there was a commotion downstairs. A middle-aged woman with tight curly hair was blocking the apartment entrance, yelling at the top of her lungs. Sumeng. Sumeng, get out here. Eldest aunt Su Xiaomian. I walked over carrying my groceries. Eldest aunt, is something wrong? As soon as Su Xiaomian saw me, her face broke into an incredibly fake, concerned smile. Zhao Meng, your mom called me crying all night. What was she crying to you about? Saying you won't listen. Adopting kids out of nowhere. You are a young girl. Eldest aunt, I cut her off. My adopting kids has nothing to do with you. Nor does it concern her. If you don't have anything else, I'm going up to cook. Su Xiaomian's expression immediately darkened. How are you talking to me? I am your elder. Elder? I switched the grocery bags to my other hand, my eyes cold. When my dad was in the hospital and I came to you to borrow 5,000 yuan, what did you say? Her expression twitched. You said your family had many expenses and couldn't help. As soon as my dad passed away, you were the first one digging through the drawers looking for the property deed. Don't slander me. The deed is with me, I said slowly. If you came here because of this, I can tell you straight up. You won't get a single dime out of it. Su Xiaomian's face flushed red, her voice trembling with anger. You just wait. Your mom said she's coming back. She has the right to half of your dad's house. The words flashed before my eyes again. Liu Guihua is about to return. Her target is this house. She will bring her current husband, Liu Homing, and they have already prepared a lawyer's letter. Hurry and find a lawyer, this won't be simple. Su Xiaomian cursed as she walked away. I stood downstairs, carrying the groceries, letting the wind blow past me for a moment. This house was the only thing my dad left me. 2 bedrooms and 1 living room in an old apartment complex. Its value wasn't huge, but it was my home. And now it was Lu Han and Lu Ran's home. No one was allowed to touch it. The comments said Liu Guihua would appear in 3 days. I proactively contacted a friend who was a lawyer to review the complete legal status of the house. The deed was under my dad's name, Su Weigu. Before he died, he made a notarized will leaving the house to me. My friend said, don't worry, legally, she can't take a piece of it. But if she makes a scene, it'll be annoying. I understood perfectly. Liu Guihua was never one to be reasonable. She was only used to making a scene. On the afternoon of the 3rd day, I went to school to pick up Lu Han and Lu Ran. As soon as I reached the gate, I saw Lu Han being held back by teacher Zhao in the hallway. Lu Han. Zhang Kenshin said you kept staring at him in class. What's going on? Lu Han remained calm. He threw a crumpled piece of paper on my desk first. Zhang Kenshin yelled. I did not. There are cameras. Teacher Zhao looked a bit flustered and laughed awkwardly. All right. Classmates should be accommodating to each other. Teacher. I walked over. Teacher Zhao looked up, and his expression shifted slightly. Miss Su, you're here. I heard everything. Since there are cameras, let's look at the footage. There's no reason to be bullied over something like this. It's not a big deal. It is not a small deal, I looked him straight in the eye. Lu Han is my son. If he suffers grievances at school, I must get to the bottom of it. The smile on teacher Zhao's face stiffened. Just then, an elegantly dressed woman hurried over and pulled Zhang Kenshin into her arms. What's wrong, baby? What happened? Zhang Kenshin pointed at Lu Han. Mum, it's him. He kept glaring at me in class. The woman turned to look at me, her eyes sharp. How do you teach your child? Bullying classmates. Your son threw paper at him first. My son is very well behaved at home. He wouldn't do such a thing. Then let's go check the security footage. The woman froze and turned to Teacher Zhao. Teacher Zhao? What's going on? Sweat beaded on Teacher Zhao's forehead. Sister Li. Miss Su. How about we sit down and talk? No need, I interjected. Let's watch the cameras. Whoever is wrong takes responsibility. If you don't handle this fairly, Teacher Zhao, I will report this to the Education Bureau. The hallway fell silent. The smile on Teacher Zhao's face completely vanished. When the camera footage was played, the image of Zhang Kenshin crumpling the paper and throwing it was clear as day. Sister Li's face turned green and white. She tossed out an apology and pulled her son away. Teacher Zhao also quietly slinked back into his office. Lu Han stood next to me and looked up. You don't have to. Every time ... Every time it will be like this. I took his hand and walked out with Lu Ran. Your business is my business. Lu Ran hugged my arm tightly, her voice cheerful. Sister is the best. Lu Han didn't say anything, but for the first time, he didn't shake my hand off. As we stepped out of the school gate, a black sedan was parked close to the curb. The car door opened and a woman in her 40s stepped out. Dressed gaudily, wearing high heels, with a thick layer of makeup on her face. Zhao Meng. Liu Gihua smiled at me. That smile made me sick. Mum is back. Liu Ran felt my body stiffen and tightly gripped my hand. Liu Han looked up at Liu Gihua once, then looked at me. Your mom? Yes. Liu Gihua walked over, her eyes sweeping over Liu Han and Liu Ran, and frowned. Are these your two adopted brats? She sized Liu Han up and down. Looks decent, but that gaze isn't friendly at all. Liu Han stared back at her expressionlessly. The comments popped up. Liu Han is analyzing this woman's threat level to you. The kid is already thinking of ways to protect you. From the black car behind Liu Gihua, another person stepped out. A man in his 40s with a potbelly, wearing a cheap suit, a cigarette dangling from his mouth. Liu Haoming, Liu Gihua's current husband. This is your daughter. Liu Haoming blew out a puff of smoke. Looks pretty young. His gaze made my skin crawl. What are you doing here? Zhao Meng, Mom missed you. Get to the point. Liu Gihua's smile stiffened for a fraction of a second, then immediately switched to a wronged expression. Your dad has been dead for almost 2 years. I have a share in that house. You don't. On what grounds? I was married to your dad for over a decade. When you two divorced, the court awarded the house to my dad. Before he died, he made a notarized will. The house is mine. You don't have a single dime in it. Liu Gihua's expression changed. Liu Haoming stamped out his cigarette and took a step forward. Miss Su, your mom has had a hard time. How about we sell the house, split it in half, and everyone settles peacefully? Who are you? Liu Haoming was taken aback by my retort. I'm your stepfather. I don't have a stepfather. You are nothing more than the man shacking up with my mother. It's not your place to point fingers at my house. Liu Haoming's face turned beet red. You little brat. How dare you speak to me like that? The truth hurts, doesn't it? A row of comments scrolled past my eyes. Well said. This scumbag Liu Haoming is up to his neck in gambling debts. He's just waiting to sell your house to pay them off. Liu Gihua knows about his debts too. The couple is teaming up to scheme against you. I let out a sneer. Liu Haoming, how much gambling debt do you owe out there? Are you planning to sell my house to fill that hole? Liu Haoming's face instantly went pale. Liu Gihua was also stunned. How did you know? Did you think I knew nothing? I pushed Liu Han and Liu Ran behind me. Before you come here, you better go ask a lawyer. You can't take this house. Not even a square meter. If you dare harass me again, I'll call the police. Liu Gihua panicked, her voice pitching high. Su Meng, are you turning your back on your own birth mother? Have you ever been a mother to me? This sentence was like a stab. Liu Gihua's lips moved, but she couldn't say a word. I led the two children past them. Let's go, we're going home. From behind, Liu Haoming's voice rang out. Don't get cocky, we've already hired a lawyer, this isn't over. I didn't turn back. The comments reminded me that the lawyer they hired was a fraud who knew nothing about real estate law, so I shouldn't be afraid. Entering the apartment building, Liu Ran looked up at me. Sister, is that lady a bad person? Not exactly a bad person. Just someone who doesn't know how to be a mother. Liu Han walking beside me muttered quietly. Do you need me to handle it? I looked down at him. A 6-year-old child uttering such a sentence. No need. I'm here. He nodded slightly. The last comment drifted by. He wasn't joking just now. He's actually brainstorming ideas. For the next 3 days, Liu Gihua and Liu Haoming didn't appear again. But my phone was bombarded. Eldest Aunt Su Xiaomian called me a dozen times a day. Xiao Meng, just take a step back. Your mom isn't having an easy time either. You don't even use both bedrooms in that house. What's the harm in giving her half? You're still young and raising 2 kids. When you get married later, people will talk. By the 9th call, I blocked her number. On the weekend, I took the children to the park. Liu Ran skipped happily on the grass. Liu Han sat on a stone bench reading a 9th grade physics textbook. The comments informed me he had already self-studied up to 10th grade math. Do you understand it? He turned a page. Yes. If there's anything you don't understand, just ask me. My math, physics, and chemistry in high school were pretty solid. He looked up at me, a hint of hard-to-detect curiosity in his eyes. Were you a good student? Ranked in the top 200 in the province for the college entrance exams. His eyebrows twitched slightly. Why didn't you go to a top university? Not enough money. My dad was very sick at the time, so I chose a university within the province to save on tuition. He was silent for a moment, just like me in the past. This was the first time he actively shared something about himself. I didn't press further, afraid he would retreat back into his shell. The comment said, when he was at the orphanage, he self-studied and won second place in a city math competition. But no one knew because the orphanage never gave him the chance to register to claim his prize. My heart ached. Luhan, do you want to compete in the math Olympiad? His hand holding the book paused. The city is holding a math Olympiad for elementary students this semester. Let me register you. There's no need. The entry fee is only 30 yuan. It's not expensive. He was about to refuse again, but I cut him off. If you win a prize, I'll buy you those sneakers you looked at 3 times at the mall. He was taken aback. I looked at them 3 times? My math isn't bad either. He lowered his head, the corners of his mouth lifting in a very small arc. But I saw the comments cheering wildly. He smiled. The future Dark King smiled. Sister, you are an absolute genius at breaking the ice. On the way back from the park, I received a call from an unknown number. Is this Miss Su Meng? Hello, I am Laoya Chen from the law firm. A steady voice carrying familiar professionalism. Your mother, Ms. Liu Gihua, has entrusted me to handle the real estate issue. Have you seen the notarized will? The other end paused for a moment. I have seen it. Then you should be clear she has absolutely no legal basis. Another brief silence. Ms. Su, I think you should consider negotiating. Laoya Chen, if you continue to harass me with baseless reasons, I will file a complaint against you with the Bar Association. My friend, Laoya Liu Jingde, has quite a reputation in your area. Do I need to have him speak with you? The other end was silent for a few seconds. Sorry to bother you. The call ended. I put my phone away. Liu Han, sitting in the back, glanced at me. Is your Laoya friend famous? Just average? The text drifted by again. Liu Jingde is just a Laoya in a third-tier city. But the other guy didn't know and got scared. The corners of Liu Han's mouth curled up as if he understood. You're not bad at bluffing. I still have to learn from you. He turned to look out the window, saying nothing more, but his reflection in the glass revealed a faint smile. On Monday, Liu Han registered for the Math Olympiad. When the list was announced, Director Zhao stood at the podium and read the names. Zhang Kunshan, Li Mingshon, Wang Zihen, Liu Han. When he read the last name, he paused slightly. Liu Han is a transfer student. Remember to help your classmate. Zhang Kunshan turned his head, his voice full of sarcasm. Trash from the orphanage wants to compete in the Olympiad. The volume wasn't loud, but it was enough to make the boys around him snicker. Liu Han didn't even bat an eyelid. The predictive comments appeared. Next week the results are out. Liu Han gets first place in the city by a massive margin. I curled my lips. Just wait and see. Starting this week, Liu Ran's performance also surprised me. Ms. Lin sent a message in the parents' group. Liu Ran got a perfect score on her spelling test, is the fastest at mental math in the class, and was selected as this week's study star. The whole group immediately blew up with praise about how smart she was to be like this in just first grade. Amidst the praises, a message slipped in. Excuse me, is this Liu Ran the adopted daughter of Su Meng? I heard she's from an orphanage? The sender was Si Chu Luo, Sister Li's close friend. As soon as the message appeared, the group fell dead silent. Lin quickly replied, Liu Ran is an official student. Family backgrounds belong to personal privacy. Please do not discuss them. Si Chu Luo didn't reply. But that afternoon, right at the school gate, she blocked Liu Ran. Are you adopted? Do you know who your real parents are? Liu Ran's face instantly went pale. By the time I arrived, she was already crying. What happened? Liu Ran threw herself into my arms, sobbing uncontrollably. A parent nearby whispered. Someone just asked her if she was adopted, and she started crying. I looked up and saw Si Chu Luo walking away with her child. Si Chu Luo. She turned around. I walked over, my voice not loud but every word clear. Does saying those things to a 6-year-old child make you happy? I just asked in passing. In passing. I stared straight at her. Do you have to step on a child to feel superior? Sichu Luo's face darkened. What do you mean? I mean, if you say one more inappropriate word to my daughter, I will officially file a complaint with the school and send all the screenshots of your insinuations and the parents' group to the Education Bureau. Are you threatening me? It's a reminder. I bent down, picked up Lu Ran, and turned to leave. Behind me, Sichu Luo's voice could still be heard, but it had grown much weaker. That night, Lu Ran lay in bed and asked softly, Sister, did my real parents really not want me anymore? The comments immediately flooded in. Her biological parents are not ordinary people. Her father is Lu Haikeng, the eldest son of the Lu family in Beijing. The Lu family heads the 4 major families. That year, Lu Haikeng's wife was framed. The 2 children were taken and sent to the orphanage. He has been searching for so many years without any leads. Lu Han and Lu Ran are the missing children of the Lu family. I looked at Lu Ran lying in my arms, and then remembered Lu Han quietly reading in his room. The backgrounds of these 2 children were far more complex than I had imagined. Sister, you won't abandon me, will you? Lu Ran hugged me tightly. No. Never. I gently patted her back in a steady rhythm until she fell asleep. Afterward, I returned to my room, leaned against the headboard, and quietly stared at the ceiling. The Lu family had been searching for years. What if they found them? Would Lu Han and Lu Ran be taken away? The text didn't give me an answer. The next morning, I made the egg pancakes Lu Ran liked and took them to school. On the way, Lu Han suddenly spoke. What were you looking up yesterday? It wasn't a question. This child's observation skills were too sharp. I looked up some things about you two. Yeah. He didn't press further, but before walking through the school gate, he looked back at me. No matter what you find, I'm not going anywhere. It seemed he vaguely guessed something too. I nodded. I know. After dropping them off, I didn't go home immediately. I went to the city library and used a public computer to search the keyword. Lu family Beijing. There were many results. The Lu family had been in business for 4 generations, with industries covering real estate, finance and technology. The current patriarch was Lu Haikeng, 41 years old, acting extremely low-key and rarely appearing in public. 6 years ago, Lu Haikeng's wife, Ji Yuanzi, was in a severe car accident and fell into a deep coma. The 2 children went missing after the accident. Police investigated for 3 years with no results. Ji Yuanzi woke up after 2 years in a coma but was left physically disabled. Lu Haikeng offered a 10 million yuan reward to find the 2 children. But to this day there was no news. 10 million yuan. I looked at Lu Haikeng's photo on the screen. Dressed in a sharp suit, his cold, sharp features looking exactly like Lu Han. No comments popped up. In times of need like this, they were always silent. I closed the browser and went back. That day, the school received the preliminary results of the Math Olympiad. Teacher Zhao posted the results in the class group. Jiang Kunshan 78 points, Lu Han perfect score. The chat group exploded. Teacher Zhao sent a follow-up message. Lu Han has achieved first place in the preliminary round with a perfect score and will represent the school in the city finals. Jiang Kunshan's mother, Sister Li, didn't say a word, but Chu Luo chimed in. A perfect score? Was the test too easy? I ignored her. When Lu Han came home, his face showed no emotion. A perfect score, congratulations. The test was too easy. I still remember the sneakers. We'll go buy them this weekend. He paused. There's no need. A promise is a promise. I won't go back on my word. You're not allowed to go back on your word either. He looked at me and gave a firm nod. Lu ran over and hugged her brother's arm. Second brother is so amazing. Lu Han reached out and rubbed his sister's head, his movements very gentle. During dinner, my phone rang. It wasn't Liu Gihua, nor was it Su Xiaomian, but a number from Beijing. Is this Ms. Su Meng? The voice was extremely calm. I am the butler of the Lu family, surnamed Wang. We are searching for 2 lost children. Someone provided a clue pointing to you. May I ask if it's convenient for you to meet and talk? My hand tightened around my chopsticks. It's here, it's finally here. May I ask what the clue is? Butler Wang's voice was unhurried. Someone provided a photo of a young boy, who looks strikingly similar to our young master when he was a child. That photo was taken from the official website of the school your children attend. The Math Olympiad. The school posted a picture of the student with the perfect score on their homepage. Lu Han's face had been seen. Butler Wang, I need time to think. I understand. Within the next 2 days, I will come to the city where you live. If it's convenient, I hope we can arrange a meeting. We won't disturb the children. It's just to confirm some information. I hung up the phone. In the kitchen, Lu Han was washing dishes, his back looking so thin and small. The comments appeared. Butler Wang is a decent person and won't make things difficult, but people from the second branch of the Lu family are playing tricks. They don't want Lu Haikeng to find his children. If the second branch knows the kids are with you, they will definitely strike first. I quickly organized the information in my head. The Lu family had 2 branches. The main branch was Lu Haikeng, the legitimate heir. The second branch was his younger brother, Lu Hangfeng, who constantly coveted the patriarch's position. The accident involving Ji Wanzi back then seemed to have the second branch's shadow behind it. The disappearance of the twins was very likely orchestrated by them. It had been 6 years, and the second branch had firmly established its footing in the Lu family. If Lu Haiking's children were found, the second branch's status would be shaken, so they wouldn't let the children be found. Another comment popped up. In 3 days, the second branch will send someone to your city to snatch the kids. 3 days before Butler Wang arrives. I took a deep breath. No, I couldn't just sit still and breathe deeply. I opened my phone contacts and found Lauya Liu Jingda. Brother Jingda? I have a situation. Is it about your mom again? No, much bigger. I summarized the situation. The other end fell silent for a long time. Are you sure? The Liu family in Beijing? Positive. This is too big for me to handle. But I have a senior colleague in Beijing who specializes in family and inheritance cases. I'll contact him for you. Thank you. After hanging up, I sat dazedly on the sofa for a while. Lu Han had silently appeared beside me. What are you thinking about? Thinking of ways to protect you and Ran. He stood there for a moment, then sat down next to me. This was the first time he had taken the initiative to sit beside me. Is someone coming for us? About my background? I turned to look at him. What do you know? He pulled something out of his pocket. A shiny jade pendant, warm in texture, with the character Lu carved into it. Ran and I. These on us when we were brought to the orphanage. The director put them away, but I secretly took them back. The carving technique was so exquisite it couldn't be ordinary craftsmanship. The comments confirmed. The Lu family's heirloom jade pendants. Every child born to the main lineage listed in the genealogy gets one. I've known for a long time that I'm not from an ordinary family. Lu Han put the jade back into his pocket. But I don't care. Then what do you care about? He lowered his head and said a few seconds later, his voice very quiet. You. And Ran. My nose suddenly stung. The comments were scrolling frantically, but I didn't read a single word. I won't let anyone take you two away from me. He gave a very slight, but incredibly firm, nod. The next day I did 2 things. First, I contacted Butler Wang and arranged to meet in 3 days. Second, I had all the children's information removed from the school website. I found the principal and used privacy concerns as an excuse. The principal hesitated for a moment but agreed. The Olympiad photo disappeared from the site, but screenshots might have already circulated. The comments told me the person from the second branch was named Lu Hanfeng, and his subordinate, Danyi, was already on his way. Danyi, a name that didn't sound like a good guy at all. That night, I checked the security cameras at the apartment entrance and saw a strange pickup truck parked there for half an hour. I took a picture of the license plate. The next morning, when taking the kids to school, I deliberately took a different route. At school, I sought out Teacher Lin and Teacher Zhao, and gave them strict instructions. If any stranger comes to the school looking for Lu Han or Lu Ran for whatever reason, they absolutely cannot leave, and you must inform me immediately. Teacher Lin agreed firmly. Teacher Zhao hesitated a bit. Is there a dispute? You just need to do exactly this. Teacher Zhao nodded. At 2 p.m., I received a text from an unknown number. Miss Su, I represent the second branch of the Lu family to handle some family matters. Regarding the 2 children, we can negotiate. You set the price. He treated the 2 children as commodities for trade. I texted back. I don't know you and I have nothing to discuss with you. If you harass me again, I will call the police. The other side didn't reply. At 8 p.m., Someone knocked on the door. I looked through the peephole. In the hallway stood two men, one short and fat, the other tall and thin. The short, fat one had a folder tucked under his arm, his meaty face looking belligerent. The comments popped up. It's Daniel. What he's holding are forged blood relation documents, planning to use the guise of family to take the kids away. I didn't open the door. Who are you? Monsieur. We're here to do some paperwork. What paperwork? Liu Han and Liu Ran are descendants of the Liu family. We have been commissioned to take them back. Do you have a court ruling? The person outside paused. We have proof of relation documents. Fake documents have no value. If you're really family, go through the proper legal procedures. The hallway fell silent for a few seconds. The short fat man's voice dropped, carrying a hint of threat. If Miss Sue knows what's good for her, we can talk easily. Otherwise what? I opened the voice recorder app and held the phone close to the door. Keep talking, I'm recording this. The outside instantly went dead silent. A moment later, footsteps faded away. I lowered my phone, my palms clammy with cold sweat. Liu Han was standing at the bedroom door, gripping a pair of scissors tightly in his hand. Put those down. They'll be back. Even if they come back, I'm here. Put them down. He looked at me for a few seconds, then finally placed the scissors on the table. Liu Ran was already sound asleep in the room. I walked in and tucked her in. She was hugging the unicorn backpack I bought her, sleeping very peacefully. I stood by the window looking down. The pickup truck was gone. But the words appeared again. They will return tomorrow, and this time there won't just be two of them. I didn't sleep that night. At 5 a.m. I called Liu Jingde. They came last night. Did you call the police? Not yet. Go. Even if it's just harassment, leave a record. I hung up and went to the police station to file a report. The police noted the incident but said it didn't yet constitute a crime, so they just made a record. If they return, call 110 immediately. On the way to school to pick up the kids, Butler Wang called, Miss Sue, I have arrived in your city today. Butler Wang, I must tell you something first. The people from the second branch arrived before you. The other end paused briefly. Daniel, you know him? Everyone in the Liu family knows him. He is the second master's lackey. His voice deepened. I will head over right away. 2 hours later, Butler Wang appeared downstairs. He was in his 60s, with graying hair, wearing a Zhongzhan suit. His demeanor calm and steady. A single glance told you he was a man of experience. Miss Sue, he bowed slightly. I apologize on behalf of the young master. It was our negligence that allowed the second branch to act first. Come upstairs to talk. I walked in, his eyes slowly sweeping over the living room. The space wasn't large but neat and clean. On the sofa were Liu Ran's unicorn backpack and a few of Liu Han's books. On the coffee table was a plate of mandarins I had peeled last night. He looked for a long time. Miss Sue, have the two children lived well over the past year? See for yourself. He nodded and took a photo out of his briefcase. In the photo were two tiny faces, still swaddled, looking exactly alike. This is a photo of the young master's twins. Have you done a DNA test? Not yet. He looked at me. We need your consent. I agree, but on one condition. Please speak. Before the results are out, no one is allowed contact with Liu Han and Liu Ran, including anyone from the Liu family. He pondered for a moment. If Daniel returns, my people will block him. How many people did you bring? 8, enough to handle it. I looked at him for a moment. How many years have you been with Liu Haikeng? Since the day he was born. What kind of person is he? His eyes shifted slightly. A father who has been searching for his children for many years. I asked no more. In the afternoon, I went to pick up the kids. As soon as I reached the gate, I saw Dan Niu blocking the entrance, with 2 other men beside him. They were arguing with the security guard. I am the children's uncle. On what grounds are you stopping me from going in? The guard held the gate. School rules. Non-direct guardians cannot pick up students. I am their guardian. I walked over quickly while simultaneously dialing 110 on my phone. Hello, at the gate of No. 2 elementary school on Songbai Road. There are 3 men posing as parents trying to force students away. 2 of them are my adopted children. They came to my house to harass me last night, and I filed a report this morning. Seeing me, Daniel's face instantly changed. Su Meng, you. Case number 202,401,153. You can explain it directly to the police. I held up my phone. It's my turn to use this trick. Daniel's eyes darted around. He gritted his teeth and took a step back. You little bitch. Sue, don't think calling the cops is the end of this. These two are the Liu family's flesh and blood. You're just an outsider. Who is an outsider? A steady voice rang out from behind. Butler Wang stepped out of the black sedan, followed by 4 men in black suits. The moment he saw him, Daniel's face drained of color. Uncle Wang. Daniel, his eyes turned cold. Who do you represent by coming here? Daniel's lips trembled, unable to speak. Butler Wang stepped up to him and said one sentence. It looks like you've overstepped your bounds this time. Daniel and his 2 lackeys immediately turned and fled. The parents at the school gate watched in astonishment. Lu Han led Lu Ran out of the gate. He looked at Butler Wang, then at me. New information appeared in the comments before my eyes. Lu Haikeng has already departed. He will personally come to see the 2 children. That night, Butler Wang stationed 2 men downstairs. The young master will arrive tomorrow. So what if he arrives? He wants to see the children, but the DNA results aren't even out yet. Butler Wang gave me a look. Ms. Sue, based on your judgment, what do you think the result will be? I didn't answer. Lu Han's face and Lu Haiking's were cast from the exact same mold. The result didn't even need guessing. Even if they are his biological children, you people can't just take them away. The young master is not that kind of person. Then what kind of person he is? I'll have to see for myself. Butler Wang nodded and said no more. That night, Lu Han once again stood in front of my bedroom door. What are you thinking about? The person looking for us. Is it my biological father? I leaned against the doorframe. It might be. Does he have money? A lot of money. He's been looking for you for a very long time. Lu Han fell silent for a moment. Are you afraid he'll take us away? It wasn't a question. I looked at him. Do you want to go? He lowered his head, and after a long while, he dropped a sentence. Ask Ran Ran. I walked into their room. Lu Ran was still awake, hugging her unicorn backpack tightly, her big round eyes staring blankly at the ceiling. Ran Ran, if one day your real dad comes to get you, do you want to go with him? Lu Ran thought for a moment. Will he treat me well? Probably. He's been looking for you for a very long time. Then what about you? Lu Ran sat up. Will you still be my sister? Always and forever. But I still don't want to go anywhere. She threw her arms around mine. I want to stay with you. Lu Han stood at the door, saying nothing, that his answer was already written plainly on his face. A comment drifted by. In the original plot, they were found by the second branch's people, locked up for 10 years and eventually blackened into villains. You, the cannon fodder female extra, changed everything. I clenched my fists. Whether it's Lu Haikeng or Lu Hangfeng, no one is allowed to hurt them again. Absolutely no one. At 10 o'clock the next morning, a black Maybach parked outside my apartment building. The car door opened, and a man stepped out. Black woolen overcoat, cold facial features. His eyebrows and eyes looked exactly like Lu Han's. He stood downstairs, looking up at my window. Butler Wang walked over and said to me, "The young master is here." I put on a jacket and went downstairs. When I stood before him, I saw his eyes clearly. Dark eyes identical to Lu Han's. But while Lu Han's eyes held coldness, his held exhaustion. A father who had spent years searching for his children seemed to have aged far beyond his years. Miss Sumeng. His voice was hoarse. Mr. Lu. Thank you. He bowed deeply at a 90-degree angle. No comments appeared. I stood frozen in place, watching the man who stood at the pinnacle of the 4 major families in Beijing bow his back before me. I invited Lu Haikeng upstairs. He walked into my rented apartment, his eyes sweeping over every little corner. On the refrigerator in the kitchen was a family drawing by Lu Ran. The drawing featured 3 people. A sister with long hair, a brother with a dark, smudge-like face, and a little girl with braids. Next to it were scribbled words. Our home. Lu Haiking's gaze lingered on that drawing for a very long time. She drew that, I said. He nodded. How have you taken care of them over the past year? I poured him a glass of water. Lu Han doesn't like to talk much, but he is meticulous and a fast learner. Lu Ran is clingy and cries easily, that she's very smart. I've corrected their picky eating habits. Lu Han knows how to wash dishes on his own now. Lu Ran packs her own school bag every day. I recounted everything calmly. Lu Haiking's fingers brushing against the glass trembled slightly. Mr. Lu, I'm sure you can guess the DNA test results. But before we get the results, I have a few things to say. Please speak. First, regardless of the results, I am still their legal guardian. This will not change because of your status. Second, if you want to fight for custody, I'm not afraid of a lawsuit. You have money and power, but the judge will see who the children live better with. I paused for a beat. If you truly want what's best for them, we can negotiate. But you must prove to me that you have the capability to protect them. You couldn't protect them before. What makes you think I'll trust you now? My words were not easy to hear, but Lu Haikang didn't defend himself, nor did he get angry. He just looked at me and said softly, "You are right." The door suddenly opened. It was Lu Han coming home from school. He stood at the threshold, looking at the strange man in the living room, his footsteps halting. Lu Haikang immediately stood up. The two looked at each other across the room. Identical eyebrows, identical eyes, identical jawlines. Lu Haiking's lips trembled. Xiao Han. Lu Han didn't move. His gaze shifted to me. Sister, who is he? Just as I was about to speak, the words appeared. This is the first time father and son have reunited after years of separation. My nose stung. He is. The door opened again. Lu Ran skipped into the house wearing her unicorn backpack. Seeing the room full of people, she froze. Then, her eyes landed on Lu Haikang. She tilted her head, blinking her big eyes. This uncle looks so much like second brother. Lu Haiking's knees gave out. The 41-year-old man, head of a major family, dropped to his knees right in the narrow living room. Ran. He reached out, his hands trembling. Lu Ran looked at him, then at me. Sister, why is he crying? I couldn't answer. Lu Han stood still, his hands clenched tight. The words in the air scrolled endlessly, but I couldn't read them fast enough. The only sound in the room was Lu Haiking's suppressed sobbing. After so many endlessly long days, he had finally found his children. As for me, standing between them, for the first time, I didn't know what to do. Lu Ran peeked out from behind my back and asked softly, Sister, is he the person you said has been looking for us for a very long time? I squatted down and looked into her eyes. Yes. Lu Ran looked back at the kneeling man, then at me again. Then, she did something I didn't expect. She walked up to Lu Haikang, pulled an orange-flavored candy from her pocket, and placed it in his hand. Uncle, don't cry anymore. Sister says eating candy makes you less sad when you're sad. Lu Haikang gripped the candy tightly, his shoulders shaking. Lu Han still stood by the door. I walked over and lowered my voice. You don't have to call him Dad yet, but at least listen to what he has to say. I wasn't planning not to listen. Lu Han looked at the man's back, his voice calm. I'm just seeing if he's trustworthy or not. Such a small child, yet speaking like a grown adult. I gently patted his shoulder. Half an hour later, the four of us sat in the living room. Lu Haikang recounted the events of the past. Ji Yuanzi's accident, the children being taken from the hospital. He called the police and offered a reward, searching for 6 years. Someone once told me the children were no longer alive. His voice grew hoarse, but I didn't believe it. Do you suspect anyone? Yes, but I have no proof. A line of text appeared. Lu Hangfeng bribed nurse Zhao Tulan to switch the children, and then sent them through multiple orphanages. Your younger brother, Lu Hangfeng. Lu Haikang looked at me, his gaze shifting. You know more than I thought. What I know might be even more than you do. His gaze changed completely. It was no longer the look of a father finding his children and looking at his benefactor. It was a business tycoon evaluating the person sitting across from him. How do you know? I have my own channels, I didn't explain further. The important thing is, can you protect the 2 children now? I can. The day before yesterday, Daniyu came. His brows furrowed slightly. I've received the report. Leave this matter to me. How will you handle it? The second branch dared to touch my children. This is no longer an internal family matter. His voice turned cold. I will make Lu Hangfeng pay. A comment appeared. Half a month later, he will be removed from the board of directors. I didn't express any opinion. Lu Han, who had been sitting quietly, finally spoke. You said you looked for us all these years, right? Right. How is our mother now? Lu Haikeng was silent for a moment. Your mother is still... Her health isn't good. She has to use a wheelchair. But she looks at your photos every day. Lu Han nodded slightly. I want to see her. Lu Haikeng stood up. I will arrange it, but not right now. Lu Han turned to me. We also have to wait for my sister to agree. Lu Haikeng looked at me too. All eyes in the room were on me. The text drifted past. This child places you above even his own biological father. I spoke up. Let's do the DNA test first. Once the results are out, we will discuss the rest. All right. He walked to the door, paused, and turned back. Missy. Sue, no matter the result, the Lu family will never forget your kindness in raising these two children over the past year. The door closed. Lu Ran climbed onto the sofa and hugged my arm. Sister, is he going to take me away? No, I rubbed her head. No matter what happens, you will always have me. Then I'm relieved. 3 days later, the DNA results confirmed a 99.99% biological relationship. Lu Han and Lu Ran were the children of Lu Haikeng and Jiu Wenzi. The day the results came out, Butler Wang came personally. Ms. Sue, the young master wishes to discuss future arrangements with you. I sat on the sofa looking at Lu Han doing his homework, and Lu Ran drawing a picture. Speak. That afternoon, Lu Haikeng arrived. This time he didn't cry. His eyes were still red, but his emotions were much more controlled. My intention is to bring the two children back to Beijing, to be raised directly by Wenzi and me. No. He paused. Ms. Sue. First, if you take the children, Ran will cry. She can't be separated from me. Second, Lu Han has just begun to trust me. If you uproot him and take him away, he'll lock all his doors again. Third, that younger brother of yours from the second branch is in Beijing. Are you absolutely certain the family estate is safe? Lu Haikeng's expression shifted. You can come to Beijing with the children. I can arrange accommodation for you there. They will live with me, and you can visit them anytime. If you wish, you can act as a supporting guardian to continue participating in their education. The comments scrolled rapidly. This man is quite something, offering you the optimal plan right away. But the problem is, if you go to Beijing, you're entering the Lu family's territory, which means handing over the initiative. I leaned back against the sofa, thinking for a moment. I am not going to Beijing. Lu Haikeng frowned. But there is a compromise. I looked at him. The children are currently in school, and this semester cannot be interrupted. When summer vacation arrives, you can bring them to Beijing for a while to reunite with your wife. But everyday custody and guardianship will remain with me. The legal documents will maintain the status quo. Do you think one summer vacation is enough? Whether it's enough depends on whether you can make them willingly follow you. Lu Han is not a child you can force. Lu Haikeng was silent for 10 seconds. Agreed. There is one more thing. I leaned forward slightly. Zhao Tulin. His gaze immediately changed. That Zhao Tulin at the Nancheng nursing home. She was the one who took the children and handed them over to the second branch's people. If you get her testimony, you will have direct evidence to deal with Lu Hangfeng. Lu Haikeng stared at me, silent for a very long time. Who exactly are you? The person who has raised your children for the past year. He stood up. Uncle Wang. Butler Wang pushed the door open and entered. Zhao Tulin, investigate. A sharp glint flashed in Butler Wang's eyes. Understood. This was Lu Haikeng's efficiency. Before leaving, he stopped at the door, turning his head to look inside. Lu Han was solving problems, his pen scratching against the paper. Lu Ran was drawing, adding a tall man in a suit, with 3 scribbled words next to it. The man looking for me. Lu Haikeng looked at that drawing for a long time before leaving. As soon as the door closed, Lu Han, without even lifting his head, said, He's all right. To get the word all right out of Lu Han's mouth was already the highest form of praise. For the next 2 weeks, life returned to peace. But that was only on the surface. Liu Gihua came again, and this time she wasn't alone. Besides Liu Haoming, there was a man in his 40s claiming to be Laoya Zhang. The 3 of them blocked the entrance downstairs. Su Meng, let's talk properly. Liu Gihua changed her tone. Mom looked into it. The 2 kids you adopted seem to have a special background. Is some big boss looking for them? The comments immediately appeared. Su Xiaomian told Liu Gihua. She heard from the neighbors that someone drove a Maybach to find you. You've been snooping into my affairs quite thoroughly, haven't you? I am your mother. Liu Giwa raised her voice. If you climb up a high branch, you can't forget your mother. Liu Haoming stood by, saying sarcastically, That's right. That's right. Your mother raised you all these years. She raised me? I turned to look at Liu Giwa. I was only 10 when you left. My dad raised me all by himself. Now you have the nerve to say you raised me. Where is your shame? Liu Giwa's mouth twitched. The Laoya Jiang stepped forward. Ms. Su, your mother, as a direct relative, has the right to... She already gave up her guardianship rights. The court's verdict is with me. Are you a real Laoya or a fake? Do I need to check your license number? Laoya Jiang's face instantly stiffened. The comments confirmed. He's a fake. Liu Haoming paid him 500 yuan. Even his Laoya ID is photoshopped. I pulled out my phone and took a picture of him. Impersonating a Laoya is a violation of the law. I'm keeping this picture. You better pray I don't get the free time to report you. Laoya Jiang immediately spun around and bolted, running even faster than Dan Yu. Liu Giwa grew anxious. Su Meng, are you crazy? Your mom came to see you. And this is your attitude. You didn't come to see me. You heard rumors that rich people came knocking, so you came to scrape some profit. Liu Gihua's expression at that moment was incredibly ugly, because I had hit the nail on the head. Ms. Liu Gihua. A voice rang out from behind. Butler Wang, appearing out of nowhere, stood 3 meters away with his hands behind his back. On behalf of our master, I am reminding you that Michi Su Meng is our partner. If you continue to harass her, our legal department will intervene. Liu Gihua looked at the black sedan, and the 2 black-suited bodyguards behind Butler Wang, her face turning pale. Who are you people? Butler Wang didn't say another word, but his imposing aura of silent authority pressured Liu Gihua, so much he couldn't utter a complete sentence. Liu Haoming tugged on Liu Gihua's sleeve. Let's go. Let's go. The couple scrambled into their rickety box truck, the engine sputtering several times before it finally started. I watched their car drive away. Butler Wang, thank you. It was merely convenient. He bowed slightly. The young master asked me to pass on a message. Xiao Tulin has been found. I turned to him. Did she agree to testify? Yes. Does Lu Hangfeng from the second branch know yet? Butler Wang's eyes shifted. Not yet, but soon. A week later, Lu Haiking called me. Ms. Su, there has been a development. We have obtained Xiao Tulin's testimony. Furthermore, she still has the chat history with the second branch saved on her phone. Is that enough? Enough to purge the family internally. But I want to handle it more definitively. What do you plan to do? The other end paused for a beat. Next Monday is the regular Lu Family Board of Directors meeting. I plan to publicly expose Lu Hangfeng right there. But I need an outside witness. You mean me? You are the children's adoptive mother, and someone who directly experienced the incidents. Your testimony is enough to leave all the others with no room for denial. A comment drifted by. Go. This is the critical turning point to reverse the Lu family's situation. If the second branch doesn't fall, the children will never be truly safe. I pondered for a moment. You're taking care of the flight tickets, right? Flying on a private jet. Truly the life of a capitalist. On Sunday night, I dropped the kids off at Laoya Liu Jingda's place to babysit. Just temporarily, Brother Jingda, at most 2 days. I'm counting on you. Fine, but you owe me a hot pot dinner. Lu Han stood at the door, his expression calm. Are you going to Beijing? Be careful. I know. He was silent for a moment, then pulled the jade pendant from his pocket and handed it to me. Take this with you. Why? The Lu family only recognizes this. I took the jade pendant, suddenly realizing that the child standing before me was even more composed than I was. Lu Ran clung tightly to my leg, refusing to let go. Sister, you must come back, it's just 2 days. I crouched down and kissed her forehead. When I get back, I'll buy you Beijing roast duck. She sniffled and nodded. Monday morning, I was sitting on the Lu family's private jet. This was my first time flying private. The comments were teasing me. Sisters, look at this. This girl's mental fortitude is on another level. Sitting on a private jet and looking as calm as if she's on a public bus. Worthy of being the future Dark King's adoptive mother. Butler Wang picked me up at the airport and took me directly to the Lu family's ancestral estate. How should I put it? The size of this place was almost equal to my entire apartment complex combined. I didn't act too surprised because the comments had already spoiled it for me. Butler Wang led me into the drawing room. Ms. Su, the board meeting starts at 2 p.m. The young master is waiting for you in the conference room. All right. I hadn't been sitting for even 5 minutes when the door opened. A woman in a wheelchair was pushed in. Around 37 or 38 years old, with a gentle aura but a pale complexion, clearly in frail health. Ji Wenzi, the biological mother of Liu Han and Liu Ran. As soon as she saw me, her eyes immediately turned red. You are Su Meng? Yes. Thank you. She pressed her hands against the armrests, trying to stand up. I quickly walked over and supported her. Don't push yourself, just sit and talk. She gripped my hand tightly. Her fingertips were icy, but her grip was very strong. I've seen the photos of the children. Xiaohan is much taller, and Ranran looks exactly like me when I was little. Tears fell from her eyes. For so many years, every single day I thought about where they were, how they were living, if anyone was bullying them. I let her cry for a while, then opened my phone and showed her the pictures one by one. Liu Han's back as he studied, Liu Ran's profile chasing butterflies, the two siblings eating together, and a video recording of the drawing titled Our Home. Ji Wenzi stared at the photo of that drawing over and over, unable to look away. Thank you, Miss Su Meng. Truly thank you. They are such good children. I said, no matter who raises them, they can grow up properly. That's not true. She shook her head. Not everyone who adopts them is as good as you. A comment drifted by. In the original work, they were discovered by the second branch and locked in a basement. For 10 years, no one ever gave them a single piece of candy, a school bag, or told them they were worthy. I stared at that line of text for a long time, then said to Ji Wenzi, in the meeting this afternoon I will help you. 2 p.m., the conference room at the Liu ancestral estate. Sitting along both sides of the long table were over a dozen people, including clan elders, branch managers, and senior executives. Liu Haikang sat at the head. He had changed into a dark grey suit, looking completely different from the red-eyed man in my rented apartment. Liu Hangfeng sat opposite him, over 40, with a round face and squinty eyes, looking very amicable. But the comments had clearly noted, the more this guy smiles, the more dangerous he is. Today's meeting has an additional agenda. Liu Haikang spoke up, his voice steady, regarding the missing children of our family. The room fell silent. Liu Hangfeng's smile remained unchanged. Big brother, hasn't this matter already been closed? Even the police couldn't find anything. The police couldn't find anything, but I did. Liu Haikang raised his hand, and Butler Wang handed over a file folder. The documents were opened and projected directly onto the large screen. Pages of Zhao Tulan's handwritten testimony were clearly displayed. That year, Mr. Liu Hangfeng's people contacted me, demanding I take the two children away on the day of the accident. He gave me 150,000 yuan. The two children were then handed over to a man named Daniu. Where they went after that, I don't know. Murmurs erupted in the room. Liu Hangfeng's smile finally stiffened. Big brother, this is slander. Are you going to believe the words of a nurse? Chat history. Liu Haikang signaled to turn to the next page. Screenshots of text messages from Xiao Tulan's phone appeared. The sender's number, after verification from the telecom company, belonged to Dan Niu. Content. Are the goods ready? Deliver them to the usual place at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Date, 6 years ago, the exact day of the accident. Whose man Dan Niu is, everyone sitting here knows perfectly well. Liu Haikang's gaze swept across the room. All eyes turned toward Liu Hangfeng. His face turned bright red. This is fake. Who knows if it was added later? The third piece of evidence. Liu Haikang gave a nod. Butler Wang opened the door and I walked in. Over a dozen pairs of eyes stared at me simultaneously. Liu Hangfeng's gaze fixed on my face for 2 seconds. Who is this? Su Meng, the adoptive mother of the two children, Liu Haikang replied. And also the victim in Daniu's attempted kidnapping of the children a few days ago. I stood next to the projector. Hello everyone. My name is Su Meng. A year ago I legally adopted Liu Han and Liu Ran from an orphanage in the south. Last week, a man named Daniu brought fake family documents to the school gate and attempted to forcibly take the children away. That day, There were school security cameras and my police report to verify this. I projected a photo of the police report receipt onto the screen. Case number 202,401,153. You can all go and verify. Liu Hangfeng sprang up. You are an outsider. What right do you have to appear at a Liu family meeting? She has the right. Liu Haikeng cut him off because she raised my children for a year, while during that same year, you were trying to make them disappear. The conference room descended into complete silence. The elders exchanged glances. Finally, a white-haired elder sitting in a high position spoke. Hangfeng, I'll give you a chance to speak for yourself. Liu Hangfeng's face cycled between white and red, his mouth opening and closing. Finally, he abruptly pushed his chair back and strode toward the door. I will not accept this kind of interrogation. The moment he pushed the door open, 2 black-suited bodyguards blocked his path outside. Butler Wang's voice rang out from behind. Second Master, the meeting is not over. Liu Hangfeng turned around, all the amicability wiped from his face. He glared at Liu Haikeng, enunciating every word. Big brother, don't push me. Pushing you. By telling the truth. Liu Haikeng stood up and walked up to him. The 2 brothers faced off. When you made your move against my wife all those years ago, did you ever think of today? Liu Hangfeng's eyes darted around. HMP. You think you've won just by taking me down? Half of the Liu family shareholders stand with me. Then let's vote. Liu Haikeng turned to look at everyone sitting there. The second agenda item for today. Dismissing Liu Hangfeng from his position as director. Those in favor, please raise your hands. 5 seconds of silence. The first hand went up. Then the second, the third. Liu Hangfeng watched the raised hands, the last bit of color draining from his face. The final vote count was 11-3. Passed by a landslide. Butler Wang presented a document and placed it in front of Liu Hangfeng. Please sign. Liu Hangfeng stared at the paper, his hands trembling. He looked up at me. In that gaze was resentment, resignation, and murderous intent. I calmly stared back at him. When he laid his hands on those 2 children, he should have known this day would come. He signed his name, threw the pen on the table, turned on his heel, and left. This time no one stopped him. The conference room doors closed. Liu Haikeng leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes. Butler Wang stepped forward and asked, Young master, do you need? No need. He opened his eyes and looked toward me. Miss Su, thank you. I told you. There's no need to thank me. They are my children. He paused briefly, then nodded. A comment drifted by. The second branch has fallen. But Liu Hangfeng won't let it go. He still has one last trump card. As soon as I returned from Beijing, Liu Ran was waiting for me at the door. The moment she saw me, she ran over and hugged my leg tightly. Sister, you said 2 days, but it's been 3 days. The flight was delayed. You lied. Hey, here's your Beijing roast duck. I held up the bag. Liu Ran instantly stopped crying, smiled, snatched the bag, and ran into the kitchen. Liu Han leaned against the doorframe, looking at me. Is everything sorted out? It's done. What about Liu Hangfeng? He was kicked off the board. He nodded, turning to walk back to his room. After 2 steps, he stopped. The jade pendant? I pulled it out of my pocket and handed it back to him. He put the jade away and closed his door. Liu Jingda sprawled on the sofa, groaning. Su Meng, the older kid of yours didn't say a single word all day. Just kept his head down reading. The little one asked when you were coming back every 10 minutes. These 2 days I've been tortured to death. Thanks for your hard work. I'll treat you to 3 hot pot dinners. 4 deal. The month passed slowly like this. The next week was the city finals for the Math Olympiad. Liu Han did 3 sets of mock exams every night. After finishing, he graded them himself, and his error rate was 0. Are you sure you're only 6 years old? I looked at his pile of test papers. Almost 7. Fine. On the day of the exam, I took the morning off work and waited outside the test center the whole time. The exam duration was 2.5 hours. Liu Han submitted his paper and came out after an hour and a half. Why so fast? I finished. The comments drifted out. First place in the entire city, perfect score. The grading committee even thought there was a problem with the test and checked it 3 times. I tried hard not to smile. 3 days later, the scores were announced. Liu Han won first place in the city with a perfect score. When the news reached the school, Teacher Zhao's expression was incredibly colorful. He sent a message in the class group. Congratulations to Lu Han for winning first place in the City Math Olympiad. Below, it was a barrage of astonishment and congratulations from the parents. Jiang Kunshen's mother, Sister Li, stayed quiet. But Sichu Luo chimed in again. A perfect score in the city? Where did this child study before? Her implication was that she suspected cheating. The comments reminded me not to bother with her. Next week, the provincial newspaper would send someone to interview Lu Han. And by then, she would naturally shut up. I didn't care, but when Lu Han got home, I took out the shoebox I had prepared. Here are your sneakers. He took the box and opened it. Dark blue running shoes. The ones he had stared at for the third time at the mall. He tried them on. They fit perfectly. Thank you, sister. This was the first time he had said thank you to me. You're welcome. Lu Ran leaned in. Second brother's shoes are so cool. Lu Han rolled his pant legs down, his face expressionless. But the comments told me that that night, he placed the shoes at the head of his bed and stared at them for a long time before going to sleep. The provincial newspaper came very quickly. Reporter Lin, a man in his 30s, brought a cameraman to the school to interview the city's perfect score Olympiad student. Teacher Zhao followed closely throughout the entire process, smiling so widely he couldn't close his mouth, acting as if he had personally trained Lu Han. Our school has always placed special emphasis on math education. Lu Han is a key student we've been cultivating. Teacher Zhao, Lu Han cut him off, his voice calm. I have never attended any of your enrichment classes. Teacher Zhao's smile immediately froze, becoming stiff. Reporter Lin looked at Lu Han, then at Teacher Zhao. Then how do you usually study? Self-study. Where are your parents? My sister is waiting outside. Reporter Lin came out and saw me. You are Lu Han's guardian? Yes. May I have a few words with you? I briefly explained the situation of my adopted son being self-taught, saying I merely provided them with a peaceful place to live. Reporter Lin showed interest. We are running a special feature called Giving Every Child a Home. Would you accept an interview? The comments popped up instantly. Accept it. This article will become a protective shield of public opinion. Lu Hangfeng's people won't dare strike under the camera lights. The day the interview was published, Lu Han's photo appeared in the provincial newspaper. The headline read, The Perfect Score Teenager Who Walked Out of an Orphanage. The article mentioned me, 23-year-old adoptive mother Su Meng, raising 2 orphans single-handedly. That night, my social media account gained 50,000 followers. The comments came flooding in. This sister is so admirable, the boy is so handsome. A young unmarried girl having the courage to adopt 2 kids. Truly brave. But there were also different voices. A 23-year-old unmarried girl raising 2 kids is just a PR stunt. Someone must be backing her. Where would a normal person get the money? I heard these 2 are descendants of some big family. She's just a proxy caretaker. I didn't care. But a private message caught my attention. The sender had no profile picture and no name, just one sentence. Those 2 children do not belong to you. Let them go early if you know what's good for you. The comments immediately appeared. Lu Hangfeng's people. I took a screenshot and sent it to Butler Wang. 10 minutes later he replied, forwarded to the young master. Half an hour later, Lu Haikeng called, I will handle this. You don't need to worry. I'm not worried. I just want to know when you will finish him off for good. The other end fell silent for 2 seconds. Soon. How long? Within a month. All right. 1 month. The comments informed me that during this time, Lu Hangfeng made 3 more moves. The first was bribing Lu Guihua. The second was colluding with people inside the school to apply pressure. And the third. The comments stopped at the 3rd line, only showing 1 word. Most dangerous. The incident with Lu Guihua being bought off came faster than I anticipated. On the 3rd day she called, Zhao Meng. Mom has thought it through. As long as you're living well, I'm at peace. Such a pleasant opening definitely meant there was a problem. What's going on? A man named Lu came looking for me, saying the 2 kids you adopted originally belonged to their family. Zhao Meng, listen to Mom, give the kids back to them. They're offering 1 million yuan. 1 million yuan, girl, for the rest of your life, you. How much money did you take from him? What money? How much did he give you to make this phone call? 50,000 or 100,000? Liu Guihua choked on her words. The comments confirmed. 100,000 was transferred directly into her account. Liu Giwa, listen closely. You taking Lu Hongfeng's money means you've stepped onto a chessboard way beyond your capability. When this is over, if he pursues you, you won't be able to keep a single dime. Don't scare me. I'm not scaring you. I'm reminding you to return the money. I hung up. The comment said she would return the money because she was greedy, but also afraid of dying. Sure enough, the next day, Butler Wang confirmed that the 100,000 yuan had been returned in full. The second move targeted the school. Teacher Zhao sought me out. Ms. Su, someone spread a rumor that there's a problem with Lu Han's Olympiad qualifications. They are filing a request for a re-evaluation. Who spread the rumor? Teacher Zhao looked flustered. I can't say. Teacher Zhao, do you really think a child who scored perfectly needs to cheat? He stayed silent. Do you want to be someone who chases after benefits or a true educator? I have the contact for the provincial newspaper reporter. Teacher Zhao's expression changed instantly. Ms. Su, I didn't mean that. Then stop this. Tell whoever is behind this that Lu Han's grades can withstand any scrutiny. If they still want to blow this up, I'm ready to take this to the Education Bureau. Teacher Zhao left. The next day, the re-evaluation results were announced. There was absolutely no problem with Lu Han's score. The official notice was posted on the organizing committee's website. Sichu Luo went quiet in the parents' group. Sister Li left the group, and Jiang Kenchun started avoiding Lu Han. 2 attempts, 2 failures. But the comments said the third time was the real danger. On Friday afternoon, I went to pick up the children. As usual, Lu Ran ran out first, but I didn't see Lu Han. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I went into the school. Lu Han's classroom was empty. Teacher Zhao was nowhere to be found. The security guard said, just now, a student from class 1 of 4 followed a man who claimed to be a parent. The blood rushed to my head. What did the person look like? Wearing a grey jacket. Said he was the kid's uncle. I called Lu Han. His phone was off. I called Butler Wang. Lu Han was taken away. His voice instantly tightened. How long ago? Less than 15 minutes. There's a GPS tracker in his shoes. We will locate him immediately. A GPS tracker? The comments appeared. Butler Wang planted a tracking chip in the sneakers you bought him. Lu Hiking arranged it. The dark blue shoes. He wore them today. The location is moving toward the north of the city. A white pickup truck. I pulled Lu Ran into the car. You stay home. No. Lu Ran clung to my arm. I don't want to be alone. I gritted my teeth and started the car. Butler Wang's GPS updates kept coming. North of the city, outskirts, an abandoned warehouse. The white pickup truck was parked there. I parked my car 200 meters away. Ran, wait in the car. Do not go outside under any circumstances. Lock the doors tight. Sister, listen to me. I got out of the car. The comments appeared in a flurry. Butler Wang's men will arrive in 5 minutes. The iron door of the warehouse was ajar. I heard voices echoing from inside. Little brat, be a good boy and follow us. That adoptive mother of yours can't take care of you for the rest of your life. Then came Lu Han's voice. Try touching me and see what happens. I pushed the iron door open. The warehouse was dusty. A dim yellow bulb hung from the ceiling. 2 men, one was Da Niu, the other I had never seen before. Lu Han was pinned down on a chair, blood seeping from the corner of his mouth. The moment he saw me, a flash of surprise crossed his eyes, followed by disapproval. You shouldn't have come. I walked in. The phone in my pocket was already set to record. Seeing me, Dan Niu sneered. Su Meng, you came right on time. Sign this agreement relinquishing your guardianship, and we'll let him go. Do you know how many years in prison you get for kidnapping a child? Dan Niu's smile vanished. Who's kidnapping? I'm the kid's relative. I already reported you to the police for forging family documents last time. Now you are a repeat offender. The security cameras outside recorded your license plate. I didn't mention that there were no cameras outside. But Dan Niu didn't know that. His face changed. Don't try to bluff me. You think I'd bother bluffing you? From a distance, the sound of police sirens grew closer. I hadn't called them. Butler Wang had. Dan Niu looked out the window. His face completely drained of blood. He turned to run. Lu Han suddenly jumped up and kicked Dan Niu in the calf. Dan Niu stumbled a step. The other man lunged forward to grab Lu Han. I grabbed a nearby iron pipe and blocked his path. "Don't move." The man looked at the sharp iron pipe in my hand, then listened to the approaching sirens, turned around and bolted toward the back door. Daniyu scrambled up and also charged toward the back door. But outside, 3 black-suited bodyguards were already blocking the way. Butler Wang stood at the front. "Daniyu, we meet again." Daniyu's legs gave out. 3 minutes later, the police swarmed in. The 2 men were subdued on the spot. Kidnapping, forging documents, illegal detention. Those 3 charges combined were enough for them to sit in a cell for several years. Lu Han stood next to me, the blood on the corner of his mouth already dried. I crouched down and used a tissue to wipe it for him. "Does it hurt?" "It doesn't hurt." "Liar." He looked at me, his eyes suddenly turning red, but he didn't cry. "You shouldn't have come," he repeated. "I already told you. Your business is my business." His lips pressed together tightly. Then he did something he had never done before. He reached out and gave me a hug. The hug was very quick, but very tight. The comments covered the entire screen, but I couldn't be bothered to read a single word. I just held this child. Butler Wang walked over. "Missy. Sue, the young master asked me to pass on a message. Dan Yu has confessed everything. Lu Hangfeng directly ordered him from behind the scenes. The chain of evidence is now complete. What's next?" "Criminal charges." I nodded. "Let him go to prison." Butler Wang glanced at me and bowed slightly. "Yes, ma'am." I held Lu Han's hand and walked out to the parking lot. Lu Ran leaned out the car window, bursting into tears when she saw us. "Second brother, you're bleeding." "Just a scratch, it's fine." "Second brother is so cool." She cried and then smiled. "Did you fight back against the bad guys?" Lu Han got into the car and buckled his seatbelt. "Yeah." On the way home, the final comment scrolled by. 3 days later, Lu Hangfeng is taken away by the police. A month later, he is officially charged with conspiracy to kidnap, forgery, and intentional assault. The case of Ji Wanzi's accident from 6 years ago is reopened. Everything is moving on its right track. The news of Lu Hangfeng's detention spread throughout high society the next day. The second branch of the Lu family in Beijing collapsed entirely overnight. His company's assets were frozen for investigation. The lackeys who followed him scattered like cockroaches in a storm. Danny Yu confessed everything in the detention center. The prosecutor's office stepped in. Lu Hangfeng faced 4 charges. This prolonged hidden war was finally brought to light. Butler Wang reported every development to me. The shares under the second master's name have been revoked by the family. All his positions within the Lu family have been stripped. The case of Madame Ji Wanzi's accident has been reopened. The police have locked onto the middleman from back then. Xiao Tulin's testimony has been officially entered into evidence. Hearing this, I only asked one question. Are the children safe now? They are safe. I had waited too long to hear those words. That night, I cooked a lavish meal. Sweet and sour ribs, cola braised chicken wings, tomato egg stir-fry, spicy and sour shredded potatoes, seaweed egg drop soup. Lu Ran ate until her mouth was oily, swinging her legs happily. Lu Han ate quietly, slower than usual. "What's wrong?" "Thinking about something." "What is it?" He put down his chopsticks. "From now on, can I just call you sister? Not the polite sister, not Su Meng, not her. But sister as an older sister, as in family." Lu Ran immediately raised her hand. "I've been calling you that for a long time." I looked at Lu Han. "Any time." He nodded once and picked up his chopsticks again. "Give me another chicken wing." I gave him 2. The comments slowly drifted past my eyes. The villain storyline has completely deviated from its original trajectory. I smiled. Still not enough. I didn't want their storyline to just deviate from its trajectory. I wanted their storyline to be a path to happiness. When summer vacation arrived, Lu Haikeng dispatched his private jet. The 2 children set foot in Beijing for the first time. And it was also their first time meeting their biological mother. Ji Yuanzi was waiting at the gates of the Lu ancestral estate. The woman in the wheelchair wore a light blue dress, her hair neatly styled, her eyes red. The moment she got off the plane, Lu ran straight toward her. "Mom." There was no hesitation in her call. Because before leaving, I told her, when you get to Beijing, you can call her Mom. She's been waiting to hear you call her that for a very long time. Ji Wanzi hugged Lu Ran tightly, sobbing uncontrollably. Lu Han walked much slower. He stopped 3 paces away, quietly looking at the woman in front of him. Ji Wonzi looked up, her tear-filled eyes meeting his. Xiao Han. Lu Han took another step forward. He didn't call her mom, but he gently placed his hand over the back of Ji Wonzi's hand. I'm back. Ji Wonzi's tears overflowed again. I stood by, quietly witnessing this scene. No comments appeared. There are some moments that don't need any commentary. During that 1 month of summer vacation, the two children experienced the most fulfilling holiday of their lives. In Beijing, Lu Haikeng taught Lu Han how to play chess. The two sat across from each other in the study. A man of few words and a boy of few words, but every move they made was strangely harmonious. Ji Wonzi combed Lu Ran's hair every day, braiding it in all sorts of styles. The little girl spun happily in the courtyard, her clear laughter ringing out. Butler Wang took them for walks around the Lu family garden, pointing out every familiar corner and recounting old family tales. I didn't stay at the ancestral estate. Lu Haikeng arranged an apartment for me nearby, quiet and private. I went to visit the children every day. Sometimes we ate together, sometimes I just sat in the garden watching them play. Every evening, Lu Han would run over to my apartment and stay for about an hour. You're probably not used to Beijing. It's fine. You're lying. He flipped through a book, his voice nonchalant. You haven't used your kitchen once. Because I'm lazy. I'll cook tomorrow. You know how to cook. Learned at the orphanage. The next day he really did go into the kitchen. The tomato egg stir-fry tasted average. The heat control was a bit off. But I ate it very seriously. Delicious. Your ability to lie is also just average. Thanks for the feedback. Near the end of the holiday, Lu Haikeng found me. Miss Su, I have a proposal. Go ahead, move to Beijing. I will cover all expenses, housing, work, living. The children will go to school here. You will remain one of their guardians. You mean co-guardianship? Yes. I've already had the lawyers prepare the paperwork. He handed me a folder. Co-guardianship agreement. Lu Haikeng and Su Meng jointly bear guardianship responsibilities for Lu Han and Lu Ran. Daily care will be handled by Su Meng. The Lu family will cover all educational and medical expenses. And Su Meng retains primary decision-making rights over their guardianship. I read through the clauses. You're letting me be the primary guardian. The children trust you. That is more important than anything. A comment popped up. He's telling the truth. Lu Haikeng searched for his kids for years, but he also understands that you were the one who gave them a home. I closed the file. Let me think about it. Take your time. He waited until I walked to the door before adding, Missy. Su, no matter what you decide, you will always be family to the two children. I didn't turn back. But in my heart, I already had the answer. September 1st, the first day of school. I led Lu Han and Lu Ran to the gates of a key elementary school in Beijing. Lu Han and Lu Ran were in 2nd grade. I had moved to Beijing. The new house was in Chaoyang District, 3 bedrooms, 1 living room. Lu Haikeng paid for it, but the deed was under my name. This is the portion you deserve. I didn't refuse, because I knew he wasn't just making empty promises. The new environment was much better than before. The teaching quality and learning environment were outstanding. In the entrance exam, Lu Han ranked first in his entire grade. The head of the education department personally called, Ms. Su, Lu Han's math level is already at a 9th grade level. We recommend he skip grades or join a special program. Let me ask his opinion. He said I had to ask you. I laughed. Just let him stay in 2nd grade. There's no rush. A solid foundation is more important. Lu Han didn't object. He understood my intention. Taking steady steps was more important than fleeting brilliance. Lu Ran also quickly adapted to her new school. Perfect scores in all subjects on her first test. A homeroom teacher messaged the parents group. Lu Ran is the smartest student I have ever taught. Names like Sichu Luo or Zhang Kenshen's mother vanished from my life. They couldn't even touch the edges of this world anymore. Life became peaceful, but that peace was only on the surface. By the end of October, the first instance verdict was announced. Lu Hanfeng. Conspiracy to kidnap. 5 years in prison. Forgery, add 2 years. The charge of intentional assault in Ji Wonzi's car accident 6 years ago was separated into its own case, and the prosecutor had filed charges. Lu Haikeng didn't attend the sentencing. When Butler Wang returned, he only said 1 sentence. The second master cried in court. I didn't feel a shred of pity. When he made his move against the two children years ago, they had cried too. During dinner, Lu Han put down his chopsticks. How many years did he get? 7 years, maybe longer. Yeah. He went back to eating, showing no extraneous emotion. Lu Ran didn't know about any of this. She only knew that her brother had been in a pretty good mood lately, and her sister's cooking skills were improving by the day. She also knew one more thing. Her mother was starting to learn to stand up again. Ji Wonzi persistently attended physical rehabilitation. Every weekend, she would hold onto the rails, stand up from her wheelchair, and take 3 steps, 5 steps, then 10 steps. Lu Ran was always by her side, clapping and cheering. "You can do it, Mom." Lu Han watched from a distance, saying nothing. But Butler Wang told me that every night, Lu Han would secretly inspect Ji Wonzi's rehab equipment, ensuring every single screw was tightened tight. This child was protecting the people he cared about in his own way. The comments swept past. The reason Lu Han became the Dark King in the original plot was because no one ever protected him. So he chose to destroy everything. But now, he has people he wants to protect. The Dark King storyline is closed forever. Winter arrived, and the first snow in Beijing fell heavily. Lu ran through a tantrum, rolling around, demanding to go build a snowman. I bundled her up in 3 layers of coats and took her down to the apartment complex's garden. Lu Han tagged along, wrapped in a black woolen scarf, hands stuffed in his pockets. "Aren't you going to build one?" Childish. In the end, he built the biggest one and even put a hat on it. Lu Ran cheered and ran circles around the snowman, her gloves soaking wet. I stood by, taking photos. My phone rang. It was Liu Giwa's number. I answered. "Zhao Meng, Mom has nowhere to go for the new year. Do you think you could? Aren't you with Liu Haoming?" I broke up with him. He owes 400,000 yuan in gambling debts and ran away. The comments confirmed. Liu Haoming really did run away. Liu Gihua is living alone now with no income. I thought for a moment. Pack your things. You can come to Beijing for the new year. The other end was silent for 5 seconds. Really? Really? But there are rules. First, when you step into my house, no causing a scene. Second, be polite to Lu Han and Lu Ran. Third, you are not to mention the house again. I won't mention it. I won't mention it ever again. Her voice sounded a bit choked up. I hung up. The comments drifted past. You went soft in the end. Yes, she wasn't a good mother, but she was my mother. Just before the new year, Liu Giwa arrived. She had lost a lot of weight, and her makeup was much lighter than before. When she saw Lu Han and Lu Ran, she froze for a few seconds. Are these the adopted kids? Yes. So pretty. She looked at Lu Han cautiously. Lu Han, his face impassive, gave her a brief nod of greeting. Lu Ran, however, was very natural. Hello, Grandma. Liu Gihua was stunned. She called me Grandma. You are my mother, so it's only right she calls you Grandma. Liu Gihua's eyes welled with tears. I cooked the New Year's Eve dinner myself, 8 savory dishes and 1 soup. Lu Ran ate from beginning to end. Lu Han slowed down by the 6th dish. He was full. Liu Gihua helped clear the table and wash the dishes. This was probably the first time in her life she did chores in front of me. As the countdown to midnight began, Lu Ran had already fallen asleep on the sofa. Lu Han sat leaning against his sister, reading a book. Liu Gihua was wiping down the kitchen. I stood by the window, watching the fireworks light up the Beijing sky. A comment drifted past. Su Meng, you have changed the fates of 3 people. Lu Han, Lu Ran, and yourself. Not just 3 people. More than that. 3 years later, Lu Han, 13, in 8th grade. First place in the National Math Olympiad. Gold medal in the High School Physics Olympiad. The top 3 high schools fought over him, but he chose the one closest to home. Why? A 10-minute walk home, just in time for dinner. Lu Ran ranked first in her entire grade across all subjects, led the school choir, and won the special prize in the school calligraphy competition. She plastered half a wall with certificates, and next to each one was a tiny line of text. Thank you, sister. Ji Wonzi no longer needed her wheelchair. She lived at the Lu ancestral estate and spent 1 week a month at my house. Lu Ran looked forward to this week the most, because her mum would braid her hair in all sorts of styles. Lu Haikeng visited every 2 weeks. He brought books for Lu Han, dresses for Lu Ran, and tea for me. Every time, it was premium tea from different regions. The comments said he handpicked them himself. My social media channel had reached millions of followers. The content shifted to sharing parenting and lifestyle tips. The series, A Sister Raising Two Geniuses, was my most popular. Fans called me the Genius Incubator. I didn't think that was quite accurate. I just gave the children a home. That autumn, I received a letter sent from prison. The handwriting belonged to Liu Hengfeng. Ms. Su Meng, I've thought a lot in here. What happened back then was my fault. On the day I get out, I want to personally apologize to the children, if you allow it. The comments popped up. He has truly repented. He joined a psychological counseling program in prison and changed a lot. But you don't have to forgive him. That is your right. I put the letter on the table. Liu Han walked past and saw it. He picked it up, read it over, and put it down. You decide. Do you not hate him? I used to. He looked out the window. But holding on to hatred for someone is tiring. It's not worth it. Hearing a 13-year-old Liu Han say this left me stunned for a long time. The comments drifted past. Liu Han, the Dark King in the original work, spent his entire life hating everyone, and ultimately died alone. The current Liu Han has learned something the previous Liu Han would never, ever learn. Letting go. I put the letter away in a drawer. We'll deal with it when he gets out. Liu Han nodded. That night, it rained. Liu Ran rested her chin on the windowsill watching the rain, then turned back and said, Sister, tell me, if we hadn't met you back then, what would we have become? I thought about it. Probably very different. Then we are so lucky. She smiled and turned her face back to look out the window. The sound of the rain was soothing, and the house was very warm. The final comment appeared. The plan to raise the ultimate villains has been perfectly fulfilled. I leaned back on the sofa. Outside the window, the city lights burned brightly, stretching all the way to the horizon. In the kitchen, Liu Han was warming up milk for his sister. Liu Ran hummed a melody she made up, her tone immature but full of joy. Liu Gihua texted saying she would come over for a few days to learn how to make egg pancakes. On my phone, Butler Wang sent a message. Ji Wanzi will be arriving next week. She asks how Ran Ran wants her hair braided. I closed my eyes. The comments didn't appear anymore, and they weren't needed anymore, because from today onwards, we will write our own story. 5 years later, spring in Beijing. At the awards ceremony for an education forum. Please welcome the recipient of the Top 10 Outstanding National Public Education Figures Award, Miss Su Meng, to the stage. Applause erupted. I stood up and adjusted my collar. In the front row sat 3 people. Liu Han, 18 years old, directly admitted to the math department of Tsinghua University this year. He wore a white shirt and sat perfectly straight, his face calm. But I saw him clapping. Liu Ran, sitting beside him, had also won 2 national calligraphy awards. She stood up and waved, a brilliant smile on her face. Beside her was Ji Wanzi, who could now stand with everyone else and applaud. I walked onto the stage and took the trophy. Please share a few words with us. The MC smiled. I stood before the microphone and looked down at the audience. I saw Liu Han handing a tissue to his sister, whose eyes were red. I saw Butler Wang standing slightly bowed in the back row. I saw Liu Gihua sitting in a corner, her hands clasped tightly, looking both nervous and moved. I spoke. When I went to the orphanage to adopt 2 children, someone told me they would become very terrifying people in the future. I thought at the time, no, they won't, because every child can become anyone. What matters is if someone is willing to give them a home. I am the lucky one. It was they who gave me the opportunity to become that person. I raised the trophy. This award does not belong to me. It belongs to them. Below the stage, thunderous applause surged. Liu Ran wept uncontrollably. Liu Han's applause was the last sound remaining. After the ceremony, the family met backstage. Liu Ran ran over and hugged me tight. Sister, you spoke so well. I recorded everything. Don't you dare post it online. I already did. Liu Han walked over and stood in front of me. The 18-year-old young man was already half a head taller than me. His facial features were an exact replica of Liu Haiking's, but his eyes no longer held pure coldness. He took something out of his pocket. It was the jade pendant from all those years ago. Sister, this is for you. Why? Before, I gave it to you, so you could take it to the Liu family as proof. Now, I'm giving it back to let you know that you are also a member of the Liu family. I took the jade pendant. I don't want to be a member of the Liu family. Then just being my sister is fine too. He smiled, a very faint smile, but enough to warm the heart. Liu Haikang stood not far away, watching us, but he didn't approach. Butler Wang beside him whispered something, and he shook his head. Let them have their private moment together a little longer. That day, I walked out of the hall. The spring breeze gently brushed against my skin, and the cherry blossoms along the road were in full bloom. Liu Ran held my left hand, and Liu Han walked on my right, parallel to me, just like the scene from those very first days. No, much closer than back then. I looked down at the jade pendant in my hand. The character Liu on it had been rubbed so many times it was even glossier. I tucked it away carefully. Not because I wanted to become a member of the Liu family, but because it still held the warmth that the little boy had kept safe for so many years. The shadows of the three of us stretched out on the ground and merged into one. And just like that, we continued walking down our own path. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. I truly appreciate your comments and feedback. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next story.